trademarks can be a lot of things, but these 10 things, they are not.
Get it trademarked with Trademark Factory.
Hi, I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video I'm going to walk you through 10 things that trademarks are not, something that they don't do, something that you shouldn't expect from a trademark. So let's jump right into it. Number one, a trademark is not something that protects your genius idea or your amazing product or service from copycats. A trademark will help you protect the name, logo, or tagline, anything really that identifies your product or service. But a trademark will not protect your product or service itself. That's not what trademarks do. That's not what trademarks are for. So don't expect that by getting a trademark, you'll be able to prevent your product or service or idea from being copied or stolen. Again, trademarks are for identifiers, not for protecting the product or service itself. I don't know how else I can express the same idea, but this is one of the biggest misconceptions around trademarks, so hopefully that does it. Let's go to number two. A trademark is not something that gives you an unlimited monopoly over a cute name that you came up with or a logo. Again, a trademark will help you protect something that identifies your product or your service, but not just any name, not just any image, not just any phrase that you came up with. It needs to be something that helps people identify your products and services apart from similar identical products and services of everyone else. In fact, someone else can legally use and even trademark the same brand as long as they do it for completely unrelated products and services. That's how trademarks work. So again, there has to be a very close link between a trademark, what you can protect with a trademark, and your products and services. Number three, a trademark in one country is not something that protects your brand in other countries. Trademarks are registered on a per country basis, and other countries don't care that you've trademarked your brand somewhere else. If you sell your products and services around the world, you should consider which countries are important enough for you to get your brand trademarked there. Number four, a trademark is not something that is easy to circumvent by changing the spelling or adding some punctuation. Trademarks, they don't only protect against identical copies, they protect also against similar imitations. And this means that you can't get away with using someone else's brand by changing a few letters, right? Or replacing some letters with numbers, or just adding some misspelling. That's not how it works. And it also means that once you've trademarked your brand, you can go after those who are trying to get away with using minor variations of your brand, right? So it works both ways. You can't imitate other brands, and no one else can imitate yours. Number five, a trademark is not something that will automatically make you millions upon millions of dollars. Now, trademarks can be extremely valuable. Some of the most well-known brands are valued at tens and even hundreds of billions of dollars, right? That's billions with a B and an S. But that does not mean that getting your brand trademarked will automatically make you a millionaire. A trademark secures your right to the valuable brand that you build. Without a trademark, you don't own your brand. And if building a recognizable brand is important for your business, then not getting it trademarked is a surefire way to not succeed with your business. But unfortunately, it doesn't automatically work the other way around, right? If you do get your brand trademarked, it doesn't give you a guarantee that you will be successful with your business. Number six, a trademark is not something that will enforce itself and guarantee that nobody will steal your brand. If you own a piece of land, it doesn't mean that someone else couldn't jump over the fence and start building a house on your property. Your ownership does not automatically prevent bad people from doing bad things to you and your property. But it's the first thing a judge will ask you about. Hey, who are you and why do you say that they can't build a house there? But how can you prove that it's your land? Same idea with brands and trademarks. They don't do the policing themselves, but without them, without a trademark, there's very little you can do to do any policing at all. So again, it's not gonna do everything by itself, but you can't do anything without it. Number 7, a trademark is not something that only huge companies should get. While huge companies like Apple and Amazon do indeed own thousands of trademarks, in fact, it's the small and mid-sized businesses that need trademarks the most. Why? Well, because huge companies like Apple and Amazon have enough resources to drag you to court and make your life miserable as a business owner without trademarks. They don't need a trademark to do that, right? It's the small guy who needs a piece of legal paper to be able to go after the huge companies. Trademarks is what gives the small guy a chance to win, or at least get a decent settlement if a huge company feels like using a brand similar to yours. If they decide that, hey, that's the brand we want to build, and if it so happens that there's somebody in their way, they may make the decision to disregard your trademark and just start using it. But if the small guy raises their hand and said, hello, that's my brand, right? They will either win or they will force the big company to pay you a lot of money. I'm not gonna name specific examples here, but there's a very big social media company that recently made an announcement that they changed their name to something completely different. A huge social media company that recently made an announcement about changing their name to something totally different, right? I wonder if you can guess what I'm talking about. And they did find that there were a few companies that named trademarks, so they were forced. The big social media company were forced to buy those trademarks off of those smaller businesses. That's how it works, right? So that prior trademark didn't stop them from adopting the name, but that those previous trademarks forced them to pay up. In other words, trademarks is not something you start worrying about once you get big and successful. It's something that you gotta do now if you ever want to get big and successful. Number 8, a trademark is not something you automatically have by virtue of using your brand. Now, I've recently posted a whole video about this misconception, right? Most countries couldn't care less about how long you've been using your brand. If you haven't trademarked it, you don't own it, period. In the US and a handful of other countries, you might be able to prove in court that your use of a brand entitles you to certain rights to it. But it only works if you go through a much more difficult, a much more expensive court process, and it only works if you win, which is very far from certain. So no, just because you came up with a name doesn't mean that now you own your brand. If that was the case, now seriously, think about this. If that was the case, people just like you wouldn't be filing over 700,000 trademark applications per year in the US alone, would they? Again, 700,000 trademark applications filed in the US per year in the US alone, right? If none of it was necessary, if all you had to do was say, hey, I just came up with that, that's a trademark, nobody would be spending all this time and all this money getting their brands trademarked. And because they do, Why? Well, because that's not how it works. Number 9, a trademark is not something that you can register in a matter of minutes. The trademarking process takes many months and in some cases several years. So don't buy into misleading advertising that says you're going to get your brand trademarked by filing some stupid form on a website and 5 minutes later you own a trademark. That's not how it works. And finally, number 10, a trademark is not a waste of money. Trademarks show the world that you're serious about your brand. Trademarks give you the tools without which you will not be able to stop others from copying your brand. Trademarks give you the asset without which you will not be able to license or franchise your brand. Trademarks give you the reason to request higher valuation for your business if you decide to sell it. And really, trademarks is what every successful business has. So while trademarks won't magically build the business of your dreams for you, they're just something you gotta do if you're serious about building a business that you hope will stick around for some time. Now, I hope this cleared things up a little bit, and if you found this video useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and help me get to 10,000 subscribers. And if you have a brand that you care about, check out Trademark Factory and see how we can help you trademark your brand with a guaranteed result for a guaranteed budget. And until then, I will see you in the next video.